Zello, however you want to say it. Never matters. For whatever reason, the guys want me to play Mega Man Network Transmission for y'all. So we're going to be doing that. I'm sure you are, Ghost.
I'm tired and I'm still happy to see this.
Well, Ozzy really wanted to see this, so I have to not disappoint him. But anyways, for those of you not familiar with Network Transmission, this is a spin-off game in the Battle Network series, which takes place in an alternate Mega Man timeline, where they prioritize networking over robots research. So we're gonna go ahead and just get started since we had this nice unskippable cutscene. Like I said, this is takes place in the Battle Network timeline. This is actually between 1 and 2. This is the end of 1 right here, where we're fighting against the Life Virus. Those of you not familiar with the Battle Network series, you have a series of human operators and then their net navigators, like Mega Man right here. And we also have to have the obligatory dab. You can't have a Mega Man game with a Mega Dab.
Yes, Mega Man does do that animation.
That's great.
I was gonna laugh. I was laughing because somebody made a mod of Battle Network 6 where you can press like select and just dab anywhere.
Yes.
Oh, but they're with high quality with the dab in this.
Well, it's extra great because sliding kind of does the dab, so we'll be slide dabbing for the next hour.
Love
so the swaggiest Mega Man game in existence. Alright.
I do love me some Battle Network. It's good timing because that's the collection's coming out in a few days.
Yes, Legacy Collection with the first 6 games will be out. So we defeated the World 3 at the end of the first game, and then this takes place about a month later. So we'll get started right when we have control right now. So this game's pretty interesting because it's a weird platformer with Battle Network elements. So we're gonna actually start by editing our folder. Those of you not familiar with this series, you kind of have a folder which is like a deck of cards that kind of get randomized. They do attack, they do different kinds of effects. So we're going to Reg Sword here, and we're going to go ahead and jump into the first level.
So unlike most other most other kind of like deck building games, the cards you draw are completely random and what you can use at any given time. So you can make one chip your regular chip, so it always begins with the start.
So that's what we have for Sword.
Yeah, and Sword is arguably probably the best chip in terms of attacking. This is important too because enemies will drop chips if you kill them quickly and efficiently. The moment they appear on screen, instantly affects the buster rank for killing an enemy.
Yeah, you have 3 seconds from the time the enemy is loaded to get an S rank, and if you get an S rank, you are guaranteed a chip of some kind, and it's usually better than the other stuff they can give. And we want a lot of cannons. So we picked all 5 chips that we get. I'm actually forced to take both cannon and V-gun due to the tutorial, which is really nice because those are really good things. And we're going to want to get a lot of cannons off of cannon guns. Thankfully, in this game, I can actually pick between the different types of chips at any time using L and R. And there are 2 components to using chips. We have the actual physical number that we have. I have 9 cannons right now, but it also takes memory to use. So you'll see some gauges at the top. The very top we won't worry about right now. To the left in yellow, that's my health, and then green is the memory of the megabytes. And that's actually real important because each chip type has its own megabyte. It's basically like magic points. So you not only need to manage how many of a chip you have, you need to manage your points as well. So that's a big element of this run.
Yeah, because in case you haven't noticed, that little green gauge for the MP, recharge is very low. It's very important that recharge is very well, because you can just be stuck using your regular Mega Buster, which in its default state is pretty much, it does 1 damage every 20 seconds maybe?
For reference, these cannons I'm shooting are 40 damage, and enemies have at least 40 damage. The Buster is complete junk at the beginning of the game, which, don't worry, we'll fix that.
Yeah, it's one of those cases, this will get better. Yeah.
Alright, so we find Roll. Roll tells us she's blocked off from getting home. She's given us heat armor. I'm gonna go ahead and take that for a marathon. So I don't get two-shotted by the boss right here, because this is a very, very scary and punishing game, so hopefully we won't die and have any happy accidents. By the way, this is what happens when you set the net on fire. This is actually what happens when your hard drive has a literal meltdown.
the system. Better go fix it.
So this game also loves references to other games in the series. I hope you like this part straight out of Fireman stage in Mega Man 1.
Yeah, nearly every stage in here is a reference to the level design. Not completely one-to-one, just like there's, because of the way this game is designed in blocks, it just made it very easy for the just, you know, take a little bit of a playbook of
Hey, we're getting a bit of a question. Boost Discord audio or lower game audio just a little bit.
I can do that in just a second.
Take your time. Run some space.
You said lower game audio?
Yes.
Okay.
It's true, this game does.
My experience with Robo, which Shawnee can relate to, is there's a number of GameCube games that just have like huge volume stuff. Volume
By the way, that was the boss.
So it's just like an actual Battle Network 1 run.
You just sword him in the face.
Well, I mean, this is a game where you literally do not want to give your opponent any time to react or do what everything hits hard, will kill you fast, and your chips do not refresh if you die and reload.
Yeah.
The only way you can replenish everything is if you jack out of and go back to this a sadly sterile room. Like, Lan never leaves his room physically. You will just see him randomly walking in his room. The gameplay is strictly Mega Man on.
Yeah, it's fun that way. But I think
I'm not entirely sure if that's for the better or for worse, because on the one hand, it's kind of what gave like the Battle Network games are really interesting RPG components. On the other, Lan's friends are like some of the dumbest NPCs in the history of video games. So it's debatable whether interacting with them is an addition to the experience.
right.
I want to see him.
Well, we'll at least get to visit
everybody
Higsby.
Everybody loves it.
Alright, so we're gonna try and catch some cycles here. This game kind of plays out like a kind of a Metroidvania at the start, where we just kind of explore the net. We'll kind of get more into proper stages later. I don't think I'm gonna catch a cycle. No, that's fine. This is also one of the longer stages, and MP management's really tight here, so we're going to hopefully not have to use too many extra chips and take too many hits, because I do need to take some very useful damage boosts. Because we do get introduced to some stronger enemies in this area, like Swordies, and they're a bit tanky. They do take 2 cannons each to take down, and they kind of hurt a bit, too.
Just be able to kill them efficiently and get their additional sword chips from them is nice to get early.
Yeah, thankfully in a run we don't rely too much on swords outside of the opening, whatever we have at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, because later on you're going to be encountering several bosses that have elemental weakness, and I really want to explain those.
Yep.
It's a regular Battle Network stuff.
Oh yeah, here's actually one of the few navies that are exclusive to this game.
Yes, that is Starman. I almost died, that was very close. That was a little scary right there. So we'll see Starman later. So basically the plot of this game is that there's a virus going around called the Zero virus that's infecting things, and we're trying to find some good info on that. So we found Starman, who was actually selling a fake vaccine, and this fake vaccine was hacking navies like Fireman. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get to stop Starman from running away, but we get an email from Dex saying like, hey, I installed that vaccine on Gutsman, and he's going berserk too. Please come help me. So, like, going back to Ghost's point of dumb NPCs, we need to go pull Dex's ass out of the fire.
Yeah,
So,
We're just finished with fire. Why do we need to do more?
so let's
I
talk,
love
yeah, I know, it's
love this
great.
series.
I know. Let's talk, item management real quick. So there are several types of upgrades that I am picking up. We have HP memories, which increase my max HP. I need enough to survive attacks if the enemies in the game really hurt. We have mem ups, which not only increase my MB, my max MB, it also increases the regen rate, which is really nice.
Yeah, because it's not so much regen rate. I think wasn't it like more like because your max is so bigger, it just regens more at any given time.
Yeah, basically, it's something like that. But so we're getting that. We're also picking up Buster power-ups for later, so we can upgrade the Buster for the second half of the game to make it not useless. And then we're also picking up some reg ups as well, which will help us set some better tips for later on.
The worst boss for new players, by the way. Gutsman is rude for beginner players.
Yeah, he has 600 HP, which is a ridiculous amount.
He also has stun locks. It's honestly the most challenging Gutsman has ever been in a network game.
Like, no joke. Let's talk money real quick, too, because money's really important. So you're seeing there's a lot of money coming out when I defeat bosses. The bosses do have rank attached to them as well, and you need to get high ranks in order to have enough money to do this route properly. The problem, also, is that when the money spawns from a boss, the money can also fly out of bounds to where you can't pick it up, and that's always great.
Yeah, you also have a short amount of time before Mega Man stands there like a loon and watch the money disappear.
I say, I'm amazed there's a game in this series where the Buster is useful before, like, 4 with the double soul.
Right. Alright, so the game opens up a bit right here. All of our friends have problems, more than usual. So we're gonna go save everyone. So we're going to go to the bank first and withdraw one good run, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't believe this is Quickman stage.
Yes, so as you can imagine from a Quickman-based stage, we're gonna see our favorite gimmick coming up.
Oh no.
Yep.
Oh no. I've only ever played like
Laser of death.
I've only ever played the first 2 levels of this game, so it's been like 6 years since I watched a full run of this. The last time I watched a run of this was when Plum did it at like AGDQ 2017.
Yeah, there's been a lot. There's been a lot that's changed in that since she did her run then when Mabel did that.
Yeah, it's still the funniest thing because she submitted to Limit Break 2019, and it got in. She's like, "No, you're supposed to take the other one." Oh god, I broke my disc of this game. The frustration. I need to get a new one.
Alright, well here's the quick lasers. They are completely unfair in this game, so you have to have this memorized. Thankfully, it's not very difficult if you know where to go.
They were really being tried to do, and right on top of a freaking quake, too. Which, again, this game, I love it to death, but I will call out how unfair it is sometimes.
It really is. So enemies start getting more kinds of gimmicks, so now Quickman has a kind of block attack when he's got a block whenever he's not actually doing an attack. So that's what the Buster's actually going to be used for, to kind of trigger that. So we're just going to snipe away with cannons. This is by far the most execution-heavy fight in the entire game. It's really fun once you know how to do it, but he also hurts a lot if you get hit, and it's very scary to fight him no matter what.
Yeah, and he does want to get a good Buster ring clearing this guy, because he'll get more money for doing it.
Yeah, pretty good fight overall.
Yeah, and bosses do in fact drop chips as well. Not going to be used in this run, but let's say you're insane and want to, you know, grind chips out. You can do replace the bosses where you try and max out results.
We actually will use one chip, but that's for way later. So we'll cover that one when that happens. So we're gonna make a trip over to Higsby's, the best hair in the universe. So I'm gonna buy an unlocker, and I'm gonna buy some PPs. So you've seen me go by the different types of colored mystery datas. Blue ones are always static pickups, so we usually grab upgrades out of those. Green ones are random depending on which area you're in, so we don't pick any of those up in any percent. And purple is like blue, except they're lock and require an unlocker, which is what we bought out of the shop there, and we're gonna use that to pick up another Buster power-up in this level.
Yeah, they're way more zen than you feel comfortable paying.
It's kind of funny because they're only like 1,500 in this one.
Yeah, I'll gladly pay the unlocker price. My problem is it's when can I start buying unlockers? Because the sooner the better. I hate walking by something I can't open.
Story of our lives. Okay, so in this level, Guy's garden started going berserk, and turns out there the garden attendants Navi went berserk because of the fake vaccine. So we're gonna go stop Needle Man.
I was gonna say, the garden attendant is not actually Guy's Navi, is it?
No, it's not.
No,
Guy's Navi. Like,
Oh, you see Glide. Well,
but you see him, you just never fight. You never fight against him, and you never see him fight.
he's actually useful in the anime, if you can believe that.
That's remarkable.
Yeah, because as far as I'm aware, Glide is just a gopher and a fucking
Alright, so there's that. So we got our power up. We're gonna try and make these spike cycles here. That was really bad, so we're just gonna back off now.
Yeah, those spikes hurt a lot. They're not into death, but they're not far from it.
It's also why I'm glad I've got a safety HP memory, because otherwise I would have died. And thankfully we didn't fail to jump at the end either, so that's all good. So I'm going to do a folder edit right here. This is going to be the first one. So we're going to actually shuffle chips around during this run. We're actually going to throw Heat V in, and we're going to reg that. So that gauge at the top is the custom bar. When that's filled, you can push Z, and you can enter the chip screen again and pick new chips. And we just use that now to pick the Heat Vs that we just threw in.
Yep, all thanks to regular chips, which is good here, because Needleman here is draft pack, so he is gonna burn. It's so shocking to me just how much easier this game gets once you get past a certain point.
Yeah, the hardest part is definitely early on when you don't have resources, and once you start getting more and more things, it's definitely a lot easier. Okay, coming up is going to be the most random stage for sure. I need my Heat Bs in order to do some stuff at the beginning. We're actually going to do one quick grind. It's going to be the only thing we're going to grind for. But because I'm using my reg slot for that, I need other chips to be able to get through the stage. So hopefully I'll get at least one kind of like shooting or throwing chip here. And the rest is pretty much just improv. That's a big... Yeah, this is a big part of running this game, is knowing your strats depending on what your chip draw is. Like, alternate strats or just being able to get through it at all. That's decent enough. I actually got Repair, which is actually really good, and Mini Bomb. Okay, this is actually a pretty good draw.
Yeah, so these penguins here are probably the most notorious enemies we'll come across in this game, because they jump a very
Yes, they double jump, or as we like to call it, as it says in-game, Doom Jump. It does what you expect, and more, actually. And we're going to grind to 10 of them right here, right now.
Yeah, despite the name being double jump, it really should be just called jump. You just get to jump again as many as you want, or as many times as you have to.
Yeah, it's pretty hilariously broken. We'll get to see some of that. I actually have, like, the perfect draw for this level. Wow. Like, I just realized how perfect my draw is. Like, this is actually everything I want for ideal strats. Also, that polar bear jump is always scary. If I miss that, I die, and I have, like, 4 frames to jump out of that jump at the end without getting hit.
I'm actually just more happy to see somebody using Mini Bomb well. That chip I always disliked.
It's a really good chip in this game because it hits multiple times, and I actually use it a lot in 100%. It's actually one of the best chips. This is also a good time. We're actually going to get to see Repair. So Repair reveals all Yoku blocks, so we're just going to skip this entire Yoku block section and not have to wait.
That's amazing. Why can't we have this in every Mega Man game?
I know, right?
You know what? Everybody would kill to never have to deal with the
Oh, it's so good. Alright, so coming up is going to be one of the only 2 mini-bosses in the game. We have a giant puppy. The problem is, this puppy splits into 4 smaller puppies, and each of those also splits into 4 smaller puppies, because why not? So this is actually why I'm glad I have Shockwave and Mini Bomb.
Yeah.
This thing is very random, so hopefully we're not going to die to it. I also need to get high ranks on the final puppies because I need bug bees for later. And this fight went pretty much perfect, aside from this last one. But that is a lot of bug bees. So that was so good.
Nice clear. That's a really annoying boss.
I forgot to do my, because of the way I did the stage, I have no idea where I am in terms of, folder. There we go. I had to fix that, because I didn't have to open the folder until way later.
It's just like in any RPG speedrun, dude. The real challenge is learning to run.
It really is. Oh no! Oh no! Don't worry, I have to leave out at the top anyway, so we do a death warp.
Yeah,
So
this game does have a life system that is replenished the moment you jack out. If you lose all, you just get forced to jack out anyway, so...
it gives you a prompt, but if you die again when you have nothing, it's instant game over, and there's no continue function in this game. Yeah, there's no continue function in this game either. I do have safety saves in case something happens, but that's why it's a little scary to run for a marathon. Alright, so here's Iceman.
Yep.
There was Iceman.
Yeah, Elect Blade kinda ruins his day.
Yeah, Elect Blade's really good. Just 3 Elect Blades and he's down. And we didn't have to see his really scary attack that can one-shot me, so... Okay, so a little bit more menuing. We're gonna set Tree Bomb. Tree Bomb's gonna be used for the boss, so I am at the mercy of whatever chips I need to get through the stage, but thankfully it's not as strenuous as Waterworks is. This first screen is really cool too. This is the coolest screen for horizontal movement, so hopefully we'll have a clean room here. So I'm gonna focus for just a second. I didn't get a very good draw, but I can make that work. Not anymore. This is kind of bad now. Alright, we'll make this work somehow. I might die, but it's whatever in this stage if I do. It's not a big deal. Okay, so not much in this stage. Higsby tells us that a Navi is running amok in the shopping district computers, so we're investigating. So we're gonna grab a power-up on the way. Not a whole lot going on. This level has some really nice music. This whole game has really nice music.
Yeah, they did an excellent job of kind of making this a weird, techno version of classic Mega Man music. I think it works really good for the setting, honestly.
Yeah, it's really good. Fun little trivia. If you know your Bamani music games, 2 of the 3 composers for this game are Sampling Masters Mega and Sampling Masters Aya. Very good quality there.
I was gonna say, I looked this up, and the first name I see on here is Shinji Hoso, and
Yep.
he's a composer I know pretty well. I mean, he does a lot of rhythm games, but, like, he's pretty versatile. As mentioned Custom Robo, he was actually one of the composers of, like, the N64 ones. Also the Zero Escape series, which is where I most know him for. Very different vibes of music. Very prolific.
Yeah, very good composer. By the way, that was the boss fight.
Yeah, don't worry. He was no longer appearing in this film. Well, it's in the boss rush.
So, Brightman also has a block mechanic like Quickman, and if you ever play this game casually, and you actually managed to make it past the other stages, you probably got stuck at him. So, if you just time your tree bombs right by baiting his taunt, then you can just kill him without him doing anything. It's great.
Yeah, it's really frustrating too, because again, that whole MP usage where you spend all your resources using your chips and now the boss is basically free to attack you, no repercussions.
Okay, so heading off to the arcade here. We get to choose from 2 more stages as we go look for more information on the Zero virus. So we're gonna go by arcade first, since I do want to mem up from this stage. Fun little fact, the slot machines in the back, they actually didn't localize those. They still say rock on them instead of mega for the bars. I have a ridiculous amount of Bub Bs for some reason. I have never had 17 Bub Bs in a run, ever.
You're really good about the fight.
Yeah, like, I'm happy if I have 12 or more. So to have 17 in a marathon run of all things is absolutely ridiculous.
It's just they're decently powerful, and more importantly, they're cheap to spam.
Extremely cheap, and they're also easy to use.
Yeah, in a game that's filled with a lot of cheap or chips that are really cheap, Bubbler is very good.
Some of the best music in this stage right here.
Don't have to remind me. I still have very, very clear memory of going to the secret slot machine in this level and spending hours trying to get pieces of chips from it.
Yeah, you can get some pretty interesting stuff, or you can just get a lot of nothing, which is what most people got.
I certainly did.
I would actually consider routing in the slot machine for 100% and then deemed it impossible. Oh, it's just like, nope.
Yep. No, there's strictly better ways than the slot machine. It's just, it's there, and it's more interesting that it's there.
Okay, so we're gonna grab the mem up for later. So this is probably the scariest boss in the game coming up. This boss's scariest thing that he can do is literally just move towards you. That is the scariest thing Color Man can do. I'm not even joking when I say this.
He's also got one of those hitboxes where only part of his body is actual targetable for damage.
Yeah, you can only hit the top.
Yeah, the ball is basically
Speaking of hitboxes, that flame tower of hitbox is certainly something else.
yeah, I could never dodge that.
It's so bad. Okay, I think we're good.
Which makes
There
it
you go.
incredibly frustrating to break the chips off of him.
Yeah,
Because,
thankfully he didn't
it's-
he didn't box me in, so that was a pretty good fight.
Because unfortunately, taking damage does affect your grade for Buster Blast.
Yep, and you really want as much money as you can get because we need at least 14,000 at the end of this level. Oh,
I think you probably got like a beat off of that, honestly.
yeah. Okay, so this level, I like this one, but it's also the most intensive chip for MP management, like most intensive level for MP management. We're pretty much just going to be avoiding everything, because this is a very vertically oriented stage, so Doob Jump's going to get a lot of use, but the boss, we also need tree bombs for. So we're going to be kind of juggling those two together. Shout outs to the angry bass line in this track. So we're going to take a shortcut right here, just slip right through these stairs. That saves a lot of back and forth action. You can see Doob Jump is more like jump however many you want, as long as you have MP for it. It is extremely good for taking shortcuts in this game. And just getting into stuff like this power-up.
Yeah. This is a very nice play movement. It's really important that he doesn't get hit by the zap rings, because you do get paralyzed if you hit by those things. That can just, like, here, take damage and take more damage and lose time.
Yeah, the bunny threes, like the mega bunnies, they paralyze you so fast in this game that you literally get stun locked until they finally just walk over and touch you.
Well, it's not the Mega Man rule for touching equals 90% more death. So if it isn't very obvious right now what this level is inspired by, this is basically the Tower Con from Mega Man 1 Left Man Stage. So this is part of the reason why Double Jump is just so ridiculously good.
Yeah,
It's just so
especially
much
skipping
vertical.
this room. This room has 4 ladders that you go up one, come down the other, go up one, come down the other, and finally go up. Like, it's not something you want to do. Okay, so that brings us to the Electman fight. I need to get my tree bombs ready. This fight's really scary because I get 2-shotted no matter what. It looks like we're going to have to go for its 4 tree bomb strat, so I'm going to try and play this safe. The clouds that Electman summons after every hit are very random. So
By the way, shoutouts to Elecman's design. I actually love this game.
it's really good. A lot of the Navi redesigns for, like, the Battle Network series are so good.
Yeah, there's some that are just
Okay, thankfully I didn't get trolled too hard, so got through that just fine.
And then there's Fireman, which I'm pretty sure they just copy-pasted and just stretched his limbs out.
Yeah, poor
I have
Electman was hacked, so it's just like, uh-oh. Well, time to deal with him. Anyways, go ahead, Ghost.
Definitely one of the things that I appreciate about the redesigns of the Navis is it's like they're stylized, and they definitely have like that kind of early aughts kind of sleekness to them for the most part, but they're not like devoid of the charm that kind of makes the Robot Masters design so just interesting. I have a poster by my bed of just like I think it was like a print, but it's just every Robot Master from, I want to say 1 to 10, but I don't think I see 11 on here, but it's just like, I love the Robot Masters designs in general.
They're really good. Like, just art in general has always been this series' really good strong point. Anyways, this is going to be just kind of a prep segment while I get ready for the next kind of stages, so if you have any kind of like announcements, now's a great time for that.
Yes, so
No
we did
way, Johnny. Do you want to see him suffer? I mean, have a good time.
So we did set our first stretch goal of make Shawnee run another Saga Frontier character. He ran a run earlier today, and to give you an idea of why he ran that game, it was such a busted, like unfinished category that when he played the game casually, he hated it so much that he wanted to learn the speedrun out of spite.
That's me in this game.
He soft locked his like playthrough. He was like, I want to learn the speed run and beat it out of spite. So yeah, we'll make him learn another category in that game if we hit $2,100 by the end of the marathon.
Even if you don't care about seeing him do it, the money does still help us, because while the initial goal of $2,000 was what we wanted to set as just a good number to end on, any additional funds still goes towards helping paying off medical debt. If I only just accumulated $2,000 in medical debt over the last 4 months, I would not be here now. It was a lot more than $2,000, unfortunately. It's just this $2,000 alone is going to help. It helps so much in taking the edge off of having to pay for it. Like, not having to live like every month with like counting every dollar I spend kind of deal, you know?
Yeah,
It's a nice rounded number.
Yeah, but thanks to all of you for donating and supporting the marathon. Really, everyone here really appreciates it. Anyways, we did a little bit of prep. Story-wise, Mega Man actually got infected with the Zero virus, so we're gonna go check out the Zero account and see if we can figure out the source of all this. So I did a little bit of prep. We went back to Higsby's and got some very, very useful things. So we got a mem up, and we also got 3 more power-ups. So with that, I was able to upgrade my Buster stats on attack and charge from 1 to 5. So I was originally doing 1 damage per shot. Now I have this super fast charge that does 90 damage a hit. So the Buster went from being literally worthless to the most broken thing in the game.
Yep, it's that good.
Oh, and by the way, Old Area 1 is also normally really, really hard. So we're just not going to play it.
But Solo, what about Rapid? Don't you want to upgrade Rapid?
I'll save that for 100% someday. Alright, this is actually one of the most execution-heavy stages in the entire game, like this and the next stage. There's a lot of stuff that can just instantly kill me, so I'm going to focus for just a bit here. But you can really see the utility of the Buster and Duke Jump together. We have Duke Jump to just kind of move around as needed, and being able to do a double charge, or even half charge, makes fighting enemies so much easier.
Yeah, because not only does having the Mega Buster fully upgraded help kill enemies, more importantly, Mega Buster you can just use the Mega Buster as much as you want. So it lets us conserve our MP for other stronger, more important chips at select moments, such as Double Jump, or when we're about to fight the boss.
There's also one other important thing. So you could notice in previous boss fights, whenever I hit the opponent, they would flinch and then do a counterattack. The Buster does not cause flinching or counterattacks, so we're going to see a lot less of those, thankfully, as we fight Swordman here.
Swordman is very super.
He also was a jerk and did the invincible attack, so screw you. I'm going to use a sword to finish him off. My money! No, you jerk! He threw it outside the arena to spite me.
need that money.
Ugh.
Oh, come on, it's right there, dude.
I know. My toe is just not long enough. Alright, so we've got a long chain of levels coming up, so this part's pretty linear, but we'll get some extra items to make things better. We'll get 5 barriers. Barriers are really good. They block 1 attack and give you some iframes, so we'll get to use those at least a couple times during the run.
Yeah,
But
that's actually a pretty decent upgrade from what how it is, where it always absorbs a select amount of damage. Here it's just a hit.
oh. So, like I said, this next level coming up is the other execution heavy stage. Each of these levels kind of has a gimmick to it. This level's gimmick is that the gravity changes based on the types of panels you're standing on. So, that might give you a clue as to what boss is coming up after this. It's a really, really fun stage, but it's also extremely difficult. Also gonna try and hit these cycles right here for these rollers. Oh, just barely hit that Mega Bunny with that full charge.
Yeah, this is part of the reason why I think this game is an excellent speedrun. There's the Zenny isn't just swag, him taking a blood. He needs that. He wants that.
Most of it, anyways. Luckily, we've routed it out over the years to where we can skip out some of the larger piles in the back half of the game. Things just work out pretty nicely.
It's really smooth when you're just kicking the back and everything.
I also want to kill these Canodum 3s. I need to S-rank them for Mega Cannons, and those are extremely important for the back half of the game. We'll do a little bit of a skip here with Tube Jump. We're going to do one more folder edit right here. This folder edit I always kind of screw up, so we're going to just kind of play this safe here. Where's Mega Cannon? High Cannon, Mega Barrier, and Reg Barrier.
I don't recall, was there ever a sorting option?
There is, but just due to the way it sorts things, I save it for the end of the game. There is a really cool strat that we do to guarantee we get something at the end of the game, and sorting is part of that.
Sweet. Looking forward to it.
Nice. Here's Gravity Man. He has very low-level AI according to the game. He's also extremely dangerous because he hits like a truck, and those arms can block your shots as well. He is not being very nice. Thankfully, he didn't do anything else. Because the gravity flips depending on if you're jumping towards the ceiling or the floor. But the gravity balls he shoots out can chase you anywhere, and they don't really go away. So that fight can get very chaotic. So thankfully that didn't happen.
Gravity Man's design in this game, it is the least human-like natty in the entire game.
I really do appreciate that. Like that and stuff like Stone Man. I do kind of appreciate the more out there designs. Oh, that's right. We're also doing good ending. I should probably go get the item I need for good ending before I forget.
That's probably important.
That's probably important.
I also like Swordman's design in it. 'Cause all I'm thinking is, man, imagine a Kendo Man with more than just a kind of
Oh lord, yeah. Alright, so since y'all met the good ending incentive, we're gonna go get one key item real quick. We have to get this before we finish the end of like this full segment, so let's go ahead and get it now. So this is the data graveyard. They say you can find bits of data down here. And there's one thing in particular that we want. We've got this source file. Sauce file? Tabasco sauce? No, source file. And then after that, we just kind of throw our face into our spike and respawn.
Our hero, ladies and gentlemen. Prove yet again that the characters are written as dumb as possible.
It's the charm.
I'll still never get over the guy who gave the like ludicrous like ransom at the state battle that was won. I think it was over like the traffic light or something stupid.
Yeah, it was that. Alright, this is no grav area. This, contrary to what I said, it's really more like low grav. But we jump really high. We also have some pretty dangerous viruses, but thankfully don't have to do it in actual fighting. We're just going to kind of skip everything with Dude Jump. Unfortunately, this has the second of our 2 mini-bosses, and this one really, really sucks because I can't use the Buster on it. Unless you want it to take Aegis.
So what is your preferred choice if you had a choice?
Say that again?
Like, if you had a choice of which chip you could have in your hand to deal with that mini-boss, what would you want?
You would definitely want something that has kind of an AoE effect, and we're going to reg Bub V in a second to be able to get that. So, you see these York family viruses firing yo-yos. We're going to be fighting a giant one of those, but the weak point is like in the dead center of it where you can't really hit it, and cannons don't even work, so Bub V's really good for this right here. Thankfully we have 5 billion of them. So I'm just going to prep that. So we just kind of hit where the cannon is on the bottom, and then the AoE takes care of all the aiming for us. Much, much easier. Especially since that thing has 300 HP, so it's a lot to kill. Unfortunately, we follow up that really rough mini-boss with one of the most difficult bosses in the game. We get Starman. So Starman likes to disappear whenever you get on his line of sight. We're going to try and abuse that by using half-card shots to keep him in the middle. He's not giving a very good pattern. This is an awful pattern already. Oh, and he can also do this where it becomes basically undodgeable. And because I don't want to die, I'm going to use the half energy that I bought earlier.
I would say Starman is like when the game sets it's like, okay, we're gonna actually make things.
Yeah, so not the cleanest fight, but we survived, and that's the important part.
Yeah, shout out to Starman's design. Actually, really good.
Alright, one more level to go in this little section here. I'm going to preset Barrier. Barrier is actually really useful for both the level and the boss coming up. The next level is called the Zero Account, and you can probably guess why. So, I'm going to go ahead and start explaining Zero now. Zero has a guard mechanic, just like some of the other bosses. Problem also is that when he gets below about half health, he starts adding one special move to his arsenal that we call Phantom Zero. And Phantom Zero does a double sword swipe that covers literally the entire screen and does 300 HP damage and it can't be dodged. By the way, that'll kill me in one hit. So Barrier helps negate that. We can still block it. But we're going to try and hopefully not have too many of those happen. Now, there is a really cool strat on Zero that we call Fast Zero, where we can trigger the guard. He does a different kind of counterattack, and then we kind of weave in some buster shots in between. So hopefully I'll get to show that off okay, but it's really scary because he hits really hard outside Phantom Zero, where I die in like 3 hits. So, definitely one of the more nerve-wracking parts of the run here.
I think you mean this is the only the only game in the series that doesn't go to the internet.
Yeah, right. Alright, so let's see if I can get Fast Zero, and hopefully won't have too many Phantom Zeros right here. So we're gonna block. He teleports, we use 2 full charges. If he does that, we can just keep repeating. If he does the spin-up attack, then we can just do a shot and slide under. There's a Phantom Zero right there. So since he's so low on health, we're going to activate a barrier, and we're going to wait for him to attack, and then we can just counterattack and finish him off. So that's a very safe way of handling it in case you start getting Phantom Zeros. Because you don't want to run out of barriers. If you run out of barriers, the only way you're going to be able to dodge Phantom Zero is to damage boost off them, assuming you can even get to him fast enough.
I purposely touch him just so you don't die to his massive swing attack.
Yep. So it's like, since we're doing good ending, oh, we can save Zero with that source file we found earlier. That's cool. So everything's over. Oh, of course not. It's Battle Network. We've got to have like some really wacky villain that has bad hair. So, naturally, this man called the Professor was like, hey, I'm the one who was taking control of Zero and sold the fake vaccine, so I can make another life virus from the sales. So we're going to go ahead and get some information, see what we can do about the life virus. So we're going to try and find where the life virus is, and it's probably in the Undernet according to this email from Yai. I really liked that email too, because she says something like, she tried to have Glide go to the Undernet, and the gatekeeper was like, "You are way too nice. I'm not letting you in." And I'm not going to let this full conversation play out, but it is pretty funny. There is one specific line I want to show off.
I think the equivalent of being the really super nice guy.
Yeah. Yeah, Mega Man tries to be a really mean guy, and he just can't do it, so he tries to be nasty. You must be better. You gotta have to do better than that. You gonna try and stop me, huh? Don't try any funny business, or I'll have to stab you. Rawr! Whoa, you're so nasty. It's so good. I haven't ever looked at the Japanese script for this game, but I have to wonder if it's exactly like that.
If it was me, I would pull the joke from Billy and Mandy, where it's just like, your mom has a job and is a respectable member of this community.
Nobody talks about my mama that way! Alright, so plot-wise, we tried to go to the Undernet, and unfortunately there's a trap on it that sends us to the center. So we can't actually go to the Undernet, so we're gonna go look for some info and some other stuff to be able to get to the Undernet. So we're gonna head back to the Outer Net, since Dex somehow has a level 5 key code. I don't know why Dex, of all people, has a level 5 key pass. That seems kind of dangerous to trust him with.
He's like, ask me no questions and I will tell you no limits.
So we're gonna make one last trip to Number Man coming up. We're gonna get a little bit more stuff to work with. And then we have just 2 more stages in this little segment, and then Endgame will be right after. I really do love this internet theme in this game. There's just so many good tracks that have a lot of energy behind them.
Yeah. Also, in a weird way, the Battle Network series as a whole made a lot of hot takes that came true in this day and age. Have everybody having their own little personal thing they carry around with them they use for everything.
Yep.
Sounds familiar.
Just don't automate your refrigerators. I don't want Bubble Man to trap me.
Yeah,
So
I don't want it. I don't want to connect my oven to
speaking of internet, welcome to your grandparents' internet. This is legendary, with the best track in the game, in my opinion. Because who doesn't love Pharaoh's theme? So this level's pretty straightforward. Go ahead, Ozzy.
I was gonna say I totally forgot Pharaoh Man was in this game.
This is actually his only canon appearance, surprisingly.
Right?
Because he's secret in 1 and 2.
Right?
Okay, hopefully we're going to catch these cycles right here, and I'm hopefully not going to accidentally get pushed under these spikes, which would definitely happen to me. Okay, thankfully it didn't happen. Alright, so this second room's pretty straightforward. We're just gonna dash our way across. We're gonna go ahead and reg barrier, and we're just gonna run to the end of the level. So, not too much to talk about. We can just enjoy the really great music.
That's another chip that I honestly use casually. I think Dash is
Dash attack is really good. Like, no joke, there are a lot of really cool alternate strats you can do if you have dash attack. Like, shoutouts to Barrelix, the other really good runner of this game. He's helped a lot with refining this run during the last couple years. It was like actively being worked on, and he helped really conceptualize how good dash attack was. So big shoutouts to him.
It's movement attack, it's a damaging attack, and more importantly, it's a damaging attack that hits low to ground enemies. That's something you might have not realized with the Mega Button, but it can't hit the rat.
It also hits multiple times too if the enemy's big enough, so it's even better.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such a great chip. And you have it from the beginning of the game, too. Alright, so Pharaoh Man himself is generally not very difficult. He does have a lot of HP. He has 1,000 HP, most of anything in the game. We just don't want to see Anubis statues. Anubises take 3 hits from anything to get it disappear, but their poison effect really sucks. Hey, look, there's one right on cue. Just to spite me, right? So, I am getting really, really bad luck here. I don't want to really see more ratties. I want to see laser coffins because they are very easy to dodge. What is even going on here? Okay. Fairman really wanted to troll. Okay. Still pretty good, though. Okay, so you might remember we were talking about boss attacks earlier and how you get their chips when you defeat a boss. That gives you their signature attack, and when you fight them in the refights menu, then you can actually also get their Navi chip. But that's not what we want. We're actually going to add Starman's signature attack, Star Arrow. And for those of you familiar with Mega Man 5 and Super Arrow, you can probably see where we're going with this.
Probably one of my favorite reasons why I love the speedrun at 5 over some of the other classic games. So much cool tech you can do with the Super Arrow.
Nice, I got Mega Cannon in my draw, so that's ideal. Okay, so this is the abandoned train station that went to the World 3 base in the first game. So we're just going to kind of navigate here, see if we can find some info. I'm going to get my last Mega Cannon, so now I have 5. That's what I want for endgame. And now we're going to use our Star Arrow to skip a very long cart ride, because it has Gutsman carts in this level for whatever reason. So we're going to fire this, going to get on, going to slide right under this. We're going to fire the Buster for some swag right here, just outrun our shots. And now we're going to keep sliding and just hopefully catch this cart cycle at the very end right here. I should be able to still make it even with that hit. Yeah, we're good. Okay, we're good. So we skip a long cart cycle there. And I have Mega Cannons, because I got a very lucky draw. So I'm just going to grab this Howl. And then we will fight Shadow Man. This fight's really scary if you play him normally, because he moves really fast, hits like a truck, and he can actually block your shots too. So we're going to loop him with Mega Cannon. Very nice fight.
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, Verilix goes for the really, really crazy strat of trying to fight him using Charge Buster only if he doesn't have M Cannon. I am not going to do that. It's really, really tough.
Yeah, because if you don't stun him, it just kind of it screws with his pattern, you know. So being able to kind of lock that in place just makes it that much more controllable.
You want to talk about program advances real quick, Ozzy?
So yeah, program advances. Let's say I had a cannon, a Mega Cannon, and I forget the third cannon.
High Cannon?
High Cannon. You had all 3 of those chips together, and you from your folder, and you have them in your hand, and play them. They will combine into one big program advance chip. Which is the Giga Cannon, I believe, in this game?
Zeta Cannon.
Zeta Cannon. It changes names from game to game.
It really does.
Yeah. I believe in this game the program advances are basically just one chip, one use.
Yep, and they're pretty worthless aside from Zeta Cannon, which is pretty great actually. We're going to see a lot of that, but that's actually why I took everything else out of my folder that I wasn't going to use. So, couple things about the custom menu. So whenever you don't fill a chip slot in the menu, and when you go back to the custom screen, 1 additional slot for each chip will be opened up. So I only took double jump, so that means I didn't take 4 chips. And that means 4 new slots will open up the next time I open the menu. Now this is important because I rearranged my folder to have a bunch of chips that I only had 1 of. Whenever you run out of a chip and you have 0, you can no longer draw it in your folder. And what this means is that I'm going to actually narrow down my folder to only have the Zeta Cannon component, Tree Bomb, and Heat B. And I am guaranteed to be able to do this thanks to having enough full press to be able to draw through my whole folder and use as needed. So if that sounds confusing, it kind of is. But that's okay. We're going to go through the internet right here. So we're already at the portal to the final boss rush here. gonna go ahead and use my MP charge, because we need to be able to burn the chips, and we already used up all our MP. So now we're gonna start burning chips that we don't need. So we're gonna burn 4 of them. And this is what we have the extra full custs for, so we can instantly refill the custom gauge at the top and open the menu again.
Good old full cust.
So let's get rid of these. So because of the way this game works and how you have 20 chips in a folder instead of 30 like in a main game, using this final full cust means we have seen the entire folder and it's consistent. Which is really great because the old strat for this was to rely on 5 full custs and possibly not get Zeta Cannon at all, and that means your run was over if you didn't get it.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Zeta Cannon is essentially like 5 seconds of unlimited cannons.
Yes, plus invincibility. It's great. By the way, this is what firewalls look like. So this firewall had 1000 HP, and I just got rid of it in about, 3 to 4 seconds. That's how useful Zeta Cannon is, and that's why we want it. And in between every section of this little boss rush area, your folder and HP are completely refreshed, which means I can still keep using Zeta Cannon as long as I don't open the menu.
It's so weird seeing full cuts being like an item as opposed to a chip.
I know, right? That and, like, fast gauge as well.
Right?
So we get a big boss rush right here. This is the first 8 nabbies of the game that were all infected with the virus. So thankfully, nothing about them has changed. So we're just going to be using mostly Buster strats and a few chips here and there. So there are some changes to some of the strats since we have the Buster, but thankfully all the important ones are pretty much the same. So hopefully Brightman will still do absolutely nothing. There we go. He did absolutely nothing. Perfect.
They're like a deer in a headlight.
Poor Iceman, just running around. He just wants to have a good time. He's confused without his ice.
Admittedly, Iceman is one of those nabbies.
Okay, Quickman's the worst one by far, so hopefully we can kill him before I ran out of Zeta Cannon. That's why we use Zeta Cannon on him, because he just takes forever to kill.
I don't care which game Quickman is in, he's usually the worst opponent to fight.
Why is Colorman doing so much? He should not be doing as many things as he is. I have objections. Alright, this is my favorite strat right here. We have a great Buster loop for Electman. He just menacingly wags his finger at you. But we pop him in the face at the end. So that's the boss rush right there. So that brings us to the final boss coming up. So we didn't talk about auras since we kind of skipped all the enemies that have auras. So the final boss has an aura. We need to be able to break the aura with attacks that do 100 damage at least, or match, or are able to defeat that specific element. Now, thankfully, Zeta Cannon is going to get refreshed because thanks to the power of friendship, TM, Roll will refresh us. Also, Gutsman cheated. He managed to kill 2 Scuttless without taking down its aura.
And there's cheerleader roll, yay!
I like how she doesn't have much of an animation. She just kind of awkwardly dances in place. Alright, so this fight has 2 phases right here. Phase 1 has the aura, so we're gonna use Zeta Cannon and charge Buster Shots back to back to do all the damage. We'll break the aura again right here, and then we'll finish him off. So that's phase 1. Phase 2 time will be when the HP reaches 0. It's a lot like the final Wily in Mega Man 2, just kind of runs around. If you touch the bubbles, you get reduced to 1 HP. If you touch the actual core, you die. So, hopefully that won't happen. Shout out to Fat Kid, because that's happened to him plenty. And time. Thank you. And the professor's like, oh, I'm gonna stop you guys next time. Wait, get out of my house! So 0, because we saved 0, managed to track him down. And it's like, okay, goodbye. That's literally all the good ending changed. So that is Mega Man Network Transmission Any Percent. I hope you all enjoyed. I really enjoy this run. It's a really, really fun run, even as punishing as it is, but I love showing it off. Anything you want to say about this, Ozzy? Or Ghost?
Why isn't this part of the Battle Network collection? Baby
Yeah.
rage.
Yeah, it's unfortunate it doesn't have the side games.
Well,
maybe then we would
we can
maybe-
leave out a side game. I'm just saying, it's not as big good as a Steiner.
We can have our network transmission. We'll trade it. You can keep your battle chip or your battle chip challenge.
I was actually thinking your Wonder Swan.
Ooh.
Okay, okay.
It sounds like it should.
I can see
Alright.
to your opinion.
Anyways, shoutouts to the hero theme from the anime, because it's good. Good way to end this off. But that's all I have for this. Big shout out to the Team BN community. Really great place if you want to just hang out for anything Battle Network related. There's actually a Battle Network 6 tournament going on right now. Really fun stuff.
Are you talking the N1 Grand Prix or is it like a community thing?
No, an actual
I
community
saw-
like set of races.
Okay.
Ah,
I
races.
saw twitch.tv/N1GP go live and I was like, wait, really? This is going on right now?
Yes. Yeah, and like the M1GP also, M1 Grand Prix is also like the online community for Battle Number 6 for PvP. Really great stuff. So if you want to get into any games, check out one of those communities. Shout out to all of them over there. They've also been really helpful, just helping everybody learn the runs, especially learning this run over the years. And if you want to check out more awesome games and bad games, you should check me out at twitch.tv/Zelo. But
Yeah,
I
thanks
think,
so much.
yeah, I think we'll end it there. Thanks, Ghost and Ozzy and everyone for having me. Stay tuned for the next couple of
Great to
runs.
have you.
Yeah,
Yep.
particularly, we're not quite done with Mega Man just yet. Up next is Mega Man 8.
Another underrated